Now we're going to talk about when to leave Big Four CPA. And really that just depends on what your goals are. So I'm going to walk through a few different examples and you can kind of say, yeah, that's what I want. And then, contact me, please. Contact us. I'll set you up with myself originally and then possibly another recruiter, or we can say, okay, here's how we can accomplish those goals by location, timing, and everything, and the client, and we'll take good care of you. So what you want to do is, if you're at year 1, year 2, you need to be there. You need to be in public accounting. I have people that contact me after a year because maybe they don't like it. Really stretch it out. Do a full 2 years, and you really start to see some opportunities. At year 3 is when you're going to see the most opportunities for yourself. At year 4, you start to get a little bit of a diminishing return. And at year 5, things kind of change. So let's first talk about year 3 and 4, or year 2, 3, and 4. So you're going to start off, you're going to see probably about 3 main options. And you're going to see internal audit, financial analyst, and you're going to see consulting opportunities as well. Consulting, real quick, it's pretty sexy. Everyone likes to think how great it would be. And it is, but it's only for a certain individual. It's going to be just like Big Four. You're going to work a lot. You're going to travel a lot. The work is a lot more sexy. It's like M&A stuff. The only downside to that is people do it for a while and say, okay, I'm ready to go into private industry. There's not really a good career path to go from consulting to private industry because they're hiring people out of Big Four. And you're priced a little bit higher now, and we really don't have a skill set. Companies don't hire consultants; they outsource them. So if you want to do consulting, most of the time they go into consulting, and when people make a move, they go to other consulting firms, and that just becomes that's their career niche. A financial analyst is basically any accounting role. It's usually a financial reporting. If it's in sales, marketing, or something, that's more ad hoc reporting and internal reporting. And then there's your internal auditor. So the big difference is financial analyst, usually zero travel. So if you're supposed to it, that's a great way to go. They have more penetration through the corporate structure vertically. And because you're in one department, you're more focused on that one department, you are working with managers, directors, and executives. The con to that is you're only going to get exposure in that one group. And it's a little bit harder to move, make a lateral move to another group. So the pro is you're really strong in that group. The con is, you're only exposed to that group. They tend to get promoted a little bit slower than the internal auditors as well. So that's one of the cons. And then, once again, lateral is tough as well. But within that group, you're basically a rock star. You're going to be super qualified for promotions within that group. The internal auditors, a lot of people say, I hate internal audit, I don't want to do it. But your reference point is Big Four, where you're working super hard, you have everything has to be done yesterday, you've got tons of hours. Internal audit's different. You're not trying to build a financial statement anymore. 50% of your work is operations. Almost all my jobs that are an internal audit are like 40, 45 hours a week. So the hours are great. And there's a 2-year planned rotation with that. So this is great for people that see themselves in a business role. They don't see themselves as an accountant for the rest of their life or an auditor. So my internal auditors will be more consultative in the role. They'll be working with projects. They'll be working with operations. They'll be working with operations managers to not only identify issues but to fix them. And then usually it's 2 years. 2 years, and then you rotate into another role. And they want you out. It's not just, you want out, they want you out. They use that as kind of a training platform to train, super, athletes like yourself as CPAs and put them into this role, train you, give you the exposure, and then put you into another role. And now you have more of a horizontal exposure in that role where you're working with managers across the company. So I have people, this is one of my favorites. She was in internal audit for 2 years. And after her rotation was up, she's in global purchasing for East Africa and Europe. So, completely out of accounting, completely out of audit, loves what she does, but she could never have gotten that exposure as a financial analyst. So that's one of the big pros of internal audit. And typically, too, the more you get promoted within a private company, the better your compensation is. If you have to go longer stretches without a promotion, Usually raises, tend to be that 2 to 3% increase. You get that promotion, and that's when you get your big raise. So, that's something to kind of consider too. They plan on, promoting you in 2 years in internal audit. And like I said, you get that horizontal exposure. So those are your main 3 options. You're going to see those at year 2, 3, and 4. Year 5 is when you start to qualify for more of like a manager of internal audit or like a senior business analyst in SEC reporting. And those really, your options start to get a lot more narrow.